OpenAI just changed the game again. Hours ago, they released Codex, an AI coding assistant made for everyone, not just developers. And it's unlike anything we've seen before. Look, this isn't just another coding tool. It's a complete software engineering agent that lives in the cloud and can work on multiple tasks simultaneously while you do something else entirely. I've been testing it with my existing Vibe-coded apps, extending features, refactoring, fixing bugs, writing tests, everything. For non-developers, this is huge. Codex comes with a sleek, intuitive UI and visual tracking of code changes just like your favorite Git tools. Let's dig in. Let's be clear about what Codex actually is, because it's fundamentally different from other AI coding tools. Codex is a full software engineering agent that runs in the cloud, powered by a specialized version of OpenAI's O3 model called Codex 1 that's been specifically optimized for software engineering tasks. Now, before we dig into how it's different, let me address something important. You might have tried something similar like connecting Claude to GitHub with your repos, but there were always problems. Repos too large for the context window, or worse, inability to send the very first message after loading code, or losing context between interactions. These were just a few issues. OpenAI has solved these problems and more with Codex. Here's what makes it truly different. Unlike GitHub Copilot or regular ChatGPT, Codex can work on several different coding tasks at the same time. Each task runs in its own sandbox environment, so they don't interfere with each other. Codex actually executes commands, runs tests, and works through problems on its own. When you connect Codex to your GitHub repository, it preloads your entire code base, so it has full context about your project structure, dependencies, and coding patterns. One of the most impressive features is how Codex shows you logs, test outputs, and detailed explanations of what it did and why. According to OpenAI's benchmarks, Codex 1 significantly outperforms their other models on software engineering tasks. On their internal engineering benchmark, it achieves 75% accuracy. What developers should know is that Codex operates in an air-gapped environment with no access to the broader internet, which limits certain functionality but improves security. Is anyone else testing Codex yet? Drop a comment if you're planning to try it. Now let's walk through exactly how to set up Codex and get your first AI agent working for you. I'm going to show you the exact steps I took to get it running on my projects. First, you need a ChatGPT Pro, Enterprise, or Team subscription. If you have one of these, you'll find Codex waiting for you in the left sidebar of ChatGPT. When you click it, you'll see the welcome screen. This is where the real setup begins. Click the Connect to GitHub button. Codex will ask for authorization to access your repositories. Double-check the access here. Codex only gets read access to the repositories you specifically select. Okay, now, choose which codebase you want Codex to work with. Select your GitHub organization from the drop-down. Choose the specific repository you want help with. Create environment to continue. That's it for basic setup. Codex immediately provides you with starter tasks to get familiar with its capabilities. Ask about your codebase structure. Find and fix a bug. Analyze your code for improvements. The two buttons you'll see are key to understanding how to use Codex. Use Ask when you want Codex to analyze or explain code without changing it. Use Code when you want Codex to actually implement changes or new features. Just select a task, click Start Tasks, and each task typically takes 1 to 30 minutes depending on complexity. That's how fast it is to get started. Stick around until the end of this video, because I'm going to show you some powerful advanced techniques that will maximize Codex's capabilities, like adding an agents file and advanced environment configurations that will transform how you work with Codex. Now, let's look at how to take Codex to the next level after your initial setup. OpenAI partnered with several tech companies to test Codex before its public release, and their experiences with accelerated feature development, debugging, refactoring large code bases, enabling product managers to contribute code without engineering time, and helping engineers understand unfamiliar parts of their code base show how it's transforming real development workflows. But more importantly, I've been testing it extensively on my own projects that I vibe coded a while back. And here's what I've been able to accomplish. I decided to test how smart Codex really is, so I gave it the vaguest possible instruction. Find and fix a bug in Codebase. No hints, no specifics, just find something broken and fix it. Within 4 minutes, it had found a database connection issue, suggested and fixed to check environment variables first, created a fallback for local development, added proper error handling, run tests to verify everything worked. That's quite awesome. After fixing the bug, I could create a GitHub PR directly from the Codex interface, check change in the diff view, and Codex added proper comments, made targeted changes, and even ran tests to verify everything worked. We all have those "I'll get to it someday" tasks. For me, it was setting up proper CI/CD, so I asked Codex to create simple CI/CD workflow. It set up a complete GitHub Actions workflow that checks out code, installs dependencies, and builds both my projects. Mine was a routes file that had grown into a monster, so I put Codex to work. It split a monolithic routes file into modular components with each route handler in its own file. Notice how it's reading the agents file automatically to follow my project conventions. Then I brought out all the tasks that I've been pretending doesn't exist, and I decided to dump them all on Codex at once, creating tests, adding local cluster setup, refactoring more code base. After watching Codex tear through my backlog, I had to ask, what problems did you face during this task, and how did you approach these issues? And it provided a detailed breakdown of how it approached refactoring, including the challenges it encountered and its reasoning process. What stands out from my testing is that Codex isn't just automating individual tasks, it's functioning as a true extension of my development team. It understands project context, follows established patterns, and produces code that integrates seamlessly with existing work. While the technical capabilities of Codex are impressive, what matters most is the tangible impact it's having on development workflows and team productivity. The most immediate impact is definitely speed to ship the code faster, resolving bugs, and reviewing code. If you've ever been on-call rotation, you know the dread of getting paged at night for a production issue. You can use Codex for faster diagnostics, quick fixes, and writing post-incident documentation. Every team has that list of technical debt items that never seems to get shorter, like test coverage gaps, documentation backlogs, and refactoring opportunities, and much more. Before we discuss Codex limitations, let's talk about those power techniques I teased earlier. Unlike a regular README, this special file gives Codex specific instructions about your coding standards and style preferences, commands for building, testing, and running your code, project architecture patterns to follow, required test coverage, and documentation standards. For complex projects, the basic setup won't cut it. You'll need to set up environment variables and secrets under Environment tab. Here, you'll find basic settings like connecting with GitHub repo and advanced settings to prepare the Codex environment. Here's what you'll see. Container image, which currently uses Ubuntu latest version, with more options likely coming soon. Environment variables, secrets to store database credentials, API keys, and other sensitive data. Setup scripts to run custom initialization code. Watch out for typos in your configuration. I had one in my database username, which led to creation failure, but I was able to spot it sooner. Now let's talk about the limitations. OpenAI themselves have labeled this a research preview. Here's what you should be aware of. Codex tasks typically take between 1 to 30 minutes to complete, which can be a blocker. But since you can run multiple tasks in parallel, I haven't found it to be a major issue. Let me know if you face different experiences. Codex operates in an air-gapped environment with no access to the broader internet or external APIs. This means Codex can't install packages from external repositories, make API calls to third-party services, access documentation from the web. So you'll need to ensure your dependencies are pre-configured in your environment. The current version doesn't support image inputs for front-end work. Once you've assigned a task to Codex, you can't provide additional guidance until it completes. This fire and forget approach works well for well-defined tasks, but can be frustrating for ambiguous work. After the initial exploration period, OpenAI will implement rate limits for Codex and offer additional usage through a flexible pricing model. The exact pricing structure hasn't been revealed yet. Codex is designed around a pull request workflow, which might not align with all development processes. It works best when integrated with GitHub repositories. The good thing is that OpenAI has been transparent about these limitations and plans to address many of them in future updates. The product is still evolving, and as with any new AI tool, it takes time to reach perfection. Looking ahead, OpenAI plans to introduce more interactive workflows that allow mid-task guidance, deeper integrations with existing development tools, the ability to assign tasks from issue trackers and CI systems. This roadmap points to a future where AI agents become collaborative team members rather than replacements. Here's my honest take. Codex is impressive, but it's not perfect. It accelerates coding tasks, but needs your supervision to carry out tasks correctly. Always review generated code carefully before implementing. What's fascinating is seeing such rapid and amazing developments in AI that are transforming how we work. What do you think? Will tools like Codex fundamentally change how you approach software development? Share your thoughts in the comments. If you haven't watched our review on Codex CLI yet, check it out now. Link in the description. I create videos on practical AI applications and tutorials, so hop onto our Patreon to get exclusive resources on the latest tech. Hit that subscribe button and notification bell so you don't miss our upcoming videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.